Alright, here we go. What happened 2 years ago? We are going to need to learn some stuff. The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. How did they come back?
Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Witness, please state your name and occupation. He's talking while drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me, partner? I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally, helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. And a drunk.
Yeah. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor.
Howling wind? I've heard Edgeworth described that way before.
Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner.
What do you mean?
A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up.
Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. Please, for the love of God, don't derail this. This is what the judge is asking.
Dear like a crazy freight train in the middle of Nevada. Little doggy. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day. That ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time to hit the trail.
I can't say I particularly care for your attitude.
I can't say I care for your beer, but you don't see me complaining.
Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems?
I mean, security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon Cowpo, you knows.
Oh, you are cutting out a lot for me now.
Oops, I'm sorry.
I don't know
It's
why.
it's this newfangled technology. Sorry, sorry, partner.
It's alright. Yes, well...
Someone threw a cowpoke at my router.
Well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers?
Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those?
He's not being very helpful.
He's not that good with machines or with following orders. Everyone's got their weakness now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor?
This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Okay. How about him? Alright. So. Start. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room?
I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still. Even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who interred the recordings.
You interred them?
Videos and nothing aren't useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase a tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life.
This guy's a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So, in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. Okay. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right?
And you heard a word I said, partner? Told you that ain't my style.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
No desperado rules get in his way.
No desperados I know joined the police force. So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime...
Just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day.
There was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that?
Sorry, partner, can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks.
How does this guy avoid being fired? The thing is, that does make sense, because the thing is, like, let's say the blood, the handprint that we found of his is due to, the cactus, and he, like, or some reason. It could have been there ages. It was wiped off. It could have been there from ages ago. It doesn't have to be from this.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be from the crime. Like, it could be.
So I don't know. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct?
Of course, back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence.
And yet, you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism.
Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. Couldn't even tell you how a bike works.
That's quite, incredible.
The sensors on the handles cannot be seen. I'll know that some detectives are aware of their presence.
Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too.
You think, what the fuck? They know my fingerprint? What the hell?
At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place?
What the hell? They have fingerprints? Oh my goodness.
What were you doing in a place like that?
I was eating spaghetti. Okay.
Good.
I was eating spaghetti tacos. Not even Angel's steak lunches could beat that Paula's vongole sepia pasta.
Do you mean to tell us you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles?
Not all desperados eat tacos, partner.
That's not what I meant. I hope this has
Eat
at least
spaghetti
taught you a
tacos.
lesson. That's strange. This is usually where Edgeworth says, "Did you not want a raise this year?" Okay.
I
Let's see.
sound nothing like that.
You sound very much like it. Out of ammo, Officer Marshall?
That's right, partner. All evidence. If you plan to enemy to this crime, then you're raw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back to the west. 'Cause I'm wanted. Dead or alive.
One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible for guarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything.
Texas don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that.
Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I best keep my cool. Before I use it though, I'd better up the ante. Okay, so... where's...
Bone Orchard. What the hell is that? Bone Orchard?
I guess... it's the evidence room, so... it's...
Oh.
It's... I guess... a weird way of saying, like... graveyard? But for evidence? Oh,
Yeah.
My staff, besides, was protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was street assistant at the time went down. Okay, so do we have anything that contradicts what you just said? Because I have no idea. Okay, no. Oh, did you? You didn't enter, did you? No.
No. Something
Unless
about
his-
the DNA.
unless his
Something
one.
about the.
Yeah, unless his thing is the 7771. In which case, he was there. Well, yeah, I guess he wasn't there when it went down, but he was there at some point. No.
Wait, what was that screwdriver for again?
We don't know. We just know it was used in the case. Or, actually, it wasn't the same case. It was just a past case. It was a past case of Edgeworth's. Yeah, I don't think there was anything specific. I've currently got nothing. Yeah, I've got nothing. Where's... Is there
So
a contradiction?
so his fingerprint is that, what does that match to? If we are to use it.
It says I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time to hit the trail.
Yeah, because he's asking for evidence. Maybe here, show him the fingerprint.
Yeah, maybe. Let's go for it.
Right. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime.
And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner.
It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or, to be exact, a handprint.
This is real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there.
I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Witness? What's the meaning of this? Your blood-stained fingerprints with this crime scene? The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall?
It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall. About the pardon me, about the bloodstained fingerprints.
Very well. You may begin your testimony about your fingerprints, found at the scene of the crime. Alright. Let's see.
Bloodstained on the carpet. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Well, didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it. Oh, the murderer was wearing gloves?
Yeah, but how did he know that?
Okay.
The witness's explanation appears valid. Well, there's room for doubt.
Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness. This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. Alright, let's see. Okay. That's because you, how did you put it? Pay your respects once a month?
Yep, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
What? What do you mean?
I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use.
Oh, that makes sense, because I was going to say there was like a thing hanging from it.
Yeah.
A thing, okay. Can I just check something real quick? Will it let me? Yeah, if you look to the left, there's not something hanging out of that locker.
Okay.
Come on, back it up. Come on. I wish I still had the fast forward rewind system.
Oh, who's that?
There is nothing coming out of that locker. So that's new. That happened within a day or so. Interesting.
And that's in there now. And that's in there now, though. It's a heap of broken dreams.
I see.
It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. Must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. So then, what about the bloody handprint?
Okay. Wasn't mine. It's no mystery.
Please explain.
My locker's covered with my fingerprints. Just so happened.
So the chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1, are they really though?
I mean, it depends on... On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. The chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. Get one thing straight, partner. You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why?
Yeah.
One stain in the fingerprint completely related.
Interesting. The thing that bugs me is the fact that there was something hanging from the locker. I want to know what that is. Because that was not there at the time of the murder. Unless it's just an oversight, which I doubt. Unrelated?
Well, it proves no one was checking. Because someone's supposed to go around and check if there's anything hanging. That's what Gumshoe said. So, yeah. They're as different as night and day. Kind of like cereal and cereal. You see, that's a homonym. It's a word that sounds the same, but it's spelled completely differently and has a different meaning.
Yeah.
One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder.
He's right. Although seemingly alike, they're totally different. I don't see what homonyms have to do with this. How do you know that?
But I still do my job. I keep all the reports. There was a bloodstain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer.
That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
However, no fingerprints were detected on that hand.
Oh yeah, I think we tried that too. So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
This seal of blood in the desert, it's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this.
The security tape.
As long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise.
This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going to cross-examine. Yes, Your Honor. Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall.
Okay, Marshall. He can erase the tape.
He could have, yeah.
He has power. He has power over the tape. That's not good. It's not a good look. It wasn't me in that video, huh?
So what do you mean by that?
You want to time? I mean, this crime? Isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Blind spots? Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. Yeah.
Also that stupid annoying mascot in the way that blocks everyone's face.
If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape.
I just bashed my elbow, partner.
Okay.
It really hurt.
In that playback, there was something in the locker. There was a thing hanging from the locker. It was just an oversight.
Oh.
That's weird. That's such a weird oversight of the devs. Okay. It's also weird. Oh, because...
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
That's his tape. Because he just popped it out. He's just like, I got a tape. Is it a different tape?
I didn't see the times. I wasn't
Okay,
looking at the times.
let's watch it again. Let's watch it
I don't
again
think I
when
can.
we get the chance.
Well,
We don't
okay.
have time for you.
What was interesting though is Meekins was on the floor. So is it possible, whilst the camera was panned at Meekins, someone opened his locker?
Oh, you know what? Did someone wake up Meekins? Was it another detective?
We don't think we know who it was. We just know
Maybe
someone did.
Marshall woke up Meekins because because Meekins was like, he hit me on the back of the head, or like,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's something Marshall do. He'd be like, "Wake up, partner!" He's like, "You're drier than a prairie dog," and like he'd smack him on the head. Maybe Marshall woke up Meekins.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe the tape we just saw was just after all that hubbub.
Yeah, I wish I was paying attention to the time. But oh well, never mind.
That was a good spot, by the way. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well,
was the rag in? Was the rag out? Who cares?
If you could show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now.
Alright, well,
Show the evidence, partner.
Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall.
Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake.
Now then, let's have another look at this video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the witness.
Okay, let's see. Can I rewind quickly?
See,
it's okay.
20,
So
half 5.
Okay.
Half 5.
No, it's not. It's quarter past. 17, 14.
No, 17. Oh, I'm so stupid.
You did it again.
I keep doing that. I'm looking at the seconds as minutes, and the minutes as bloody hours.
So there's nothing there. I bet there might be in a bit. So I fast forward. If there's another piece of evidence,
that's open.
Still nothing there. If there's another piece of evidence, I want to see what it is. Like I'm gonna miss them.
Glove fell out. Okay.
No, nothing there.
There's Meekins.
So they're fighting.
Yeah.
Nothing there. I think there's still gonna be nothing there, and it's gonna pan again.
Stupid friends.
And then it's there.
What?
Did you see that?
Yeah.
So within the like 10 seconds.
Yeah, you know what this is like? You know in The Incredibles? He's like, right there, he moved!
Yeah.
This little rat is guilty! Don't only me!
So this is...
It's like, yeah.
So, 1501...
The time doesn't jump or anything.
Okay, so well, let's take a look. So 1501, 1503... So, well, let's say it's 01. I don't think the time does jump. In the span of 10 seconds, someone goes into that locker. It's 11 seconds. Someone goes into that locker and there's a thing there now.
Something out of it. Yeah.
That's wild. 10 seconds. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall.
The days are short in Texas. So are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Very well.
That's 2 words.
You can clearly be seen in this video.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video.
The locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe.
Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Just 10 seconds will do, but we're gonna be slow about it because it is with 10 seconds. That's very quick.
Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then, it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away.
Order! Order! It would seem that's the only...
Hold your horses, partner. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was opened? Oh, you know what? His ID wasn't it? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. His ID card's not on the thing.
Yeah.
His ID number is not there.
Mm.
Murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. And just as that happened, my TV said it's going to turn off in 5 minutes. Stop it, TV.
Yeah. This is why I need technology, partner.
Yeah. I hate to rain on your parade, but the game will end in 5 minutes because of a TV accident. But you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker? Now prove it. Something about fingerprints. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this.
Well, yeah. Maybe? What? Fingerprint sensor? What in tarnation?
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
What kind of crazy talk is this?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this.
In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There's even some people, of course, don't know how about the...
So, Sheriff? What do you have to say in 8 words or less? Oh.
Fuck. Fuck. Only got one word for you, partner.
Oh, God.
No!
It's fuck. Order, fuck. Witness, explain yourself.
Order. This is a joke. The worst I've ever heard.
I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Can I see his ear? Does he have a earring? I need to know. Because he could have, like, tied his hair up or something, so it looks different.
What are you biting? Like jerky? A piece of
yeah,
Lego
might be.
Eating beef, eating beef jerky.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Ole, please answer the question.
That is so weird.
Was he now a bullfighter?
Oh my god, even Phoenix thought the same thing. It's like they wrote it and they immediately thought that was weird to write.
Yeah.
You know what, let's keep it and then question it.
Yeah. That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. We can. Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer.
That's right. The only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime?
Oh, well, in the corner, surely, because...
Yeah, I would have
that's
thought
where his
here.
locker was.
Or... Well... I mean, he could be
Is
here.
the first one? Yeah.
But the camera... The camera is... At the time of the actual crime, like the actual stabbing, the camera is here. We see him on the floor.
Right.
So he has to be here. Well, no, he could be here. He'd be right in the corner. I don't know if I'm gonna get this wrong. Like, he can be in the corner, or he can technically be anywhere here, just on the ground, because the camera doesn't point down. I'll put here, because the camera can't see him. It will see around here.
Yeah.
Officer Marshall was standing right here. So Officer Meekins didn't notice him standing there. It's almost as credible as Meekins' warp theory.
Oh, okay. Why is that wrong?
Because maybe you got to point
I'm gonna
toward the locker.
save. I'm gonna save so we don't
You
get this
lost,
wrong.
partner. What he's yeah, chamber's empty, partner.
And they're ganging up on me. Perhaps you should think a little more about where Officer Marshall was. So Officer Meakin should have seen him in the evidence room. That means the only place... Oh, I see. Oh! He should have seen him. Was he behind the blue badger?
Maybe?
Because he should have seen him. What he's saying is he was already here. So within this time, he couldn't have... I mean, technically speaking, it makes no sense because the camera's pointed here, but he would walk past here, right? So he would be able to see him. It's not like it's a 3D thing. But...
Right.
But I'm
What are we imagining? We're saying Meekins saw Marshall.
No, Meekins didn't see Marshall. Marshall's already in the room, but Meekins did not see him somehow. Where was he in the room that he wasn't spotted? And I think there's technically nowhere. No, because if he was in front of his locker, when Meekins walks in, he's just going to see him right here. The game is saying he's in the room. How did Meekins never spot him?
So he's already here.
Yes. The only thing I can think of is he's behind...
In between the lockers. No, in between the lockers because of all that bump. Because of all the junk that's there.
We would be able to see him on the tape.
Fishing rod coat. There's like a fishing rod and a coat.
We'd be able to see him on the tape, though. Oh, I've got it. Oh, I've got it. Oh.
Right.
I'm being stupid. We're being very stupid.
Okay.
Officer Marshall was standing right here. There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was. Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in this video is Officer Marshall. It was you dressed up like Detective Goodman.
To be fair, you did say this. But we just...
Yeah.
You were like, because you wanted it, you were like, oh, is it him because he's got an earring or blah, blah, blah.
Well, I was trying to see if he had an earring, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't... I thought it was saying if he was here as on top of the other two, but it didn't. My brain shut down.
It was, yeah. But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed a detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman? He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked them to show his card, sir! Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond? Oh. He suddenly pulled a knife on me, sir! Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it? Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room. So, whoops. The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Oh, I get it. If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that, called circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it?
You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective.
Oh, what the fuck? Okay, I don't know why I did that, but okay, sorry. I don't
Please
know
stop
what...
skipping my text. Order.
I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition.
I care for your beard. You don't see me complaining.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim? Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat.
This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do?
It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics.
The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise.
Do you think this locker was open in the first place?
What do you mean?
Reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later. As it has been.
Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker. According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth? Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. Don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. Very well. Let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker. God, I'm not sure. It has been bugging me to no end, but there's like some kind of poster here, like Twilight Town in Kingdom Hearts 2. Like it's,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's so faint, I can't actually tell.
Yeah, it's like a poster with no opacity.
Okay. Why would you have to open your locker? Is there anything in this, like I don't... It's not the glove, because we found the glove elsewhere. It's that face is unbelievable. Ugh. Okay, can I rewind? Where does the blood come from? Specifically. Like, I guess it's at that moment, like when he stabbed. Yeah, okay. It's unbelievably framed. Like, it's so unbelievably framed, actually. Like, the odds of that perfectly masking him at every turn is unbelievable.
It's like it's an Austin Powers gag.
Mm-hmm.
They do it in Austin Powers all the time, where he's nude, but something perfectly covers him all the time.
Is it gonna be the blood stain on the jacket? Is it just gonna be that?
Maybe, yeah. I'll
Ah.
point to it because it's the only thing. It's better than.
Let's give it a whirl. Why not?
Seems that.
For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet.
Yet.
However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. A bloody white coat? You couldn't just walk out like that. So you hid the coat in your locker. Aha!
Oh, okay, yeah. Not bad, partner.
Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, only half as persistent then as you are today, y'all wouldn't have to be here now.
Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it.
All right. It seems the time has come.
Okay, here we go.
I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
Okay. So the supposed victim was really you.
There's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found in the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor.
It was way too much blood for such a small donation. Or it was way too much blood. Anyway, I read that a little wrong. Anyway. Okay. When you say it, you mean...
You even have to ask, partner?
The Ethelbine incident.
2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I have anything to do with it. That incident's not over.
What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. At what the cost? I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine.
But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? Oh, come on, man. Should have looked closer.
Yeah. That day was my last chance. That's why I...
So why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transfer, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera.
Okay, but why was a glove left there so we could even open it in the first place? Was Goodman in on it?
Yeah.
But by all accounts, Goodman could just take it out and give it to him.
Yeah, like... So Marshall was going in there to explicitly look at SL9 evidence.
Yes, presumably
Okay.
the killer wasn't given a big enough sentence, or wasn't caught, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
He didn't know... To be fair, he didn't know about the fingerprint sensor.
Hmm.
So maybe a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, he didn't know about the sensor, so there would be no reason why he
didn't
couldn't
know
do
about-
it.
Yeah, he didn't know about the sensor, so maybe it was just coincidence that it was just like flipping easy to open.
No chance. There's still someone we don't know about. There's someone we don't know who entered. I refuse to accept that.
Maybe because, well, okay, who else is beef with this? Apart from everybody, who else was affected by SL9? So maybe Cough Queen.
Yeah, or
Angel
Lana,
Star.
or even Gant. I don't know. I don't know.
I stole that the morning of the incident.
So that really was why Goodman started finding out that lost item report.
I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. Alright, well, now we
Why,
know
though?
how it got there.
But why did you leave it there?
So,
Why?
So it looks like he dropped it.
Right, I see. The only card I found was left there by Officer Marshall.
So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean, the fingerprint activated lock, of course. Oh! Okay, yeah, so maybe I was right? No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself. So is this just a misunderstanding?
Well, yeah, I think... Well, I don't think he did anything super wrong, apart from, like, you know, put a knife on Meekins. Like, but... How was the locker supposed to open? It shouldn't have been able to. Someone made it so that it could be.
Before, and then, yeah, someone made it so either by design, either Marshall knew that someone would jam it with a glove, or he's arrived and he's gone, oh wow, it's open.
Well, Marshall couldn't have known someone would jam it with a glove because he didn't know about the fingerprint. He didn't know it was a fingerprint lock.
He was just naively.
He's also wearing gloves, so it wouldn't work. Actually, that's technically an oversight on the game. He should not have been able to open his locker, and it's purely an oversight on the game. That I don't think there will be any reason as to why that is, because he is wearing gloves. So
Marshall?
Marshall's wearing gloves, because that's why.
No, but Marshall doesn't know about the fingerprint.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying that is an oversight of the game. The fact that Marshall was able to open his own locker is literally impossible because he had gloves on. Unless they were also covered in blood and he took them off. Which they might say, but I don't know. I don't know if he did or not. Anyway. He could because a rubber glove just happened to be stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. But he hasn't entered the room, so it couldn't have been him. I don't know. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off?
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time.
Officer Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type of person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID.
I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year.
Oh, well, Rev Meekins. How did Edgeworth get so much influence?
Anyway, he threw himself at me, ended up cutting badly. Sorry it had to turn out that way. Knocking him out and everything.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, this one?
I don't know what to say. Wait. It still doesn't answer the whole question of who killed Goodman. Because Goodman was found in
allegedly,
Edgeworth's...
yeah, Goodman's not even here.
Well, he was found in Edgeworth's trunk.
Oh!
Or...
Hang on, I have to get the door, sorry. You would not believe what I've just had to do.
Okay.
Right, okay. My neighbour's seen me through the window, and they've asked me, they say, Joe, are you good with spiders? I'm like, what? And they said, we've got a spider and we can't do it. Could you come and get it? So I've around their house to put a spider outside.
Wow.
Just picked it up. They've just stomached them.
Fair enough.
I'm okay. I just picked it up. It wasn't big either. Like it's just like It's not every day you get... Anyway. The judge is not impressed. He does not care for my spider story.
I don't remember what we were talking about. That's something to do with the case. I don't know. So anyway.
Was it San Joey murders?
So you knocked Officer Beacon's out hand.
Yeah.
They should escape you.
I managed.
Okay. Right. So you did your research beforehand.
Those who are the desert unprepared don't live long. I think it would be different though. The security tape is erased. 6 months, 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What was Officer Meekins doing during that time?
What else? He was sleeping like a baby.
So what you're saying is, on that day...
Okay. But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place.
What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me. And I'm not dead yet, partner. So you stole the evidence from the locker. Actually, no I didn't. Oh, when he got there it weren't there. Is that what? Why not? When he got there the evidence wasn't there. When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. Oh wow. Oh my god.
That explains the glove. Okay.
What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor.
Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
It's technically not true, you're under oath. Anyway, why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID and injuring a police officer. This is no small offense.
Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary.
Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
I would like
I
to
just
know why.
can't just forget about SL9.
But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence.
I remember the Joe Dark case. It involved serial murders, didn't it?
I don't intend to complain about how it turned out. But there's something that still bothers me. When we're down to that trial, something no one will talk about.
What happened?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. Let's take another look at the files. I know exactly why.
Yeah.
Alright, well... You know why? Yeah, I know why. We already know why.
Well,
Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident.
sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
I have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man?
Neil. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago, he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
Okay, it's
Like a brother or something.
brother. Is it possible that all the victims are related to officers? Because we have Marshall, we had Emma as well. Well, potentially Emma.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What? A prosecutor?
Must be talking about the King of Prosecutors Award.
Oh, I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands.
But what's his relation to you? Come on, man. Like,
He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Gant, the then Deputy Chief of Police. Oh, bottom left. Did we see that before? We just hold it. Because we've seen this still before. I mean, did we not notice him bottom left?
well, unfortunately, there's a big group of text that sort of blocks him. So...
Yeah. Oh man, if we'd spotted that. Ah, man. It was... Okay, the group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. It was the first time Dark left behind any evidence that was all he did. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. This is so interesting because you could have just written it off as he was killed by the serial killer.
Yeah.
The guy known for killing people. But he's like, I'm not satisfied.
Yeah.
There's absolutely foul play in the police department.
Yeah.
I think.
We'll
Certainly.
find
Because
out.
like you said, yeah.
Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened to the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last day of the SL9 case. Could be reopened. Not satisfied with his resolution, she'll plan to steal the evidence.
Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled.
Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department.
Chance? It's gotta be more than just that.
So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one.
The only person who told us that a murder happened at the exact same time was Gant.
Yeah.
So
Like-
if there wasn't actually a murder, he's lying. Surely he knows if someone actually died. You know, like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so,
this is
yeah.
what I mean. Like, they say, oh, there was a ton of blood there, but I mean,
Well, the thing is, like
I mean,
Meekins is like cut covers his whole fist. Like it, sure, like that. It must have been quite a wound. It would have. I mean, he wouldn't have bled out, but it certainly would have been enough to cause a huge puddle, maybe. But the blood under the shoes doesn't make sense. I don't know.
which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lano Sky.
But wait! A verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Which is why we examine the incident at the police department today.
But
There's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remains the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. Seems to me, this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. A sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky.
I still think they died at the police department. Just somewhere else.
The testimony of one middle star is completely contestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less.
Good enough. Ah!
I'm not sure that's a word, but I'll take it. I rest my case.
It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time. Disproving the alleged murder at the police department.
There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. I didn't realise that would end up proving Lana guilty. Now then, it's time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant. Emma? Yeah.
Emma? Yeah, okay, she is right. Your Honor, wait!
Emma?
The defense has an objection, a scientific objection.
What do you mean, right? Mr. Wright? Are you this girl's guardian? Your Honor? Oh, in a sense.
Please, Your Honor. All I'm asking for is for a minute of your time. Please, hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
Oh, that's generous.
Very generous, Edgeworth. Thank you.
Make it 4.
I was kind of shocked. I mean, not the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings?
Now she mentions it. The names of both Sky Sisters were in that file.
That's what I found out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day? So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint.
Hmm.
You mean the traces of blood found in Detective Gumshoe's locker?
But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So, I ran over there and looked at it again.
How did she get in? Just so, did you find something?
No.
Huh?
Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm a high school student.
And I'm just an attorney.
But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. we can't find something wrong with them. Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
Actually, can I just... Oh, you can't fucking see it.
Right, yeah.
That's very... Again, very annoying. Me? Oh boy. Time's up. Oh, come on. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is the problem with this? Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, sorry, I can't be of any more use. Still, I don't find anything wrong with that mark. Lana will...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with the handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing?
Is it... It wouldn't be the same hand you'd open it, would it? That's kind of irrelevant. You'd open it with any hand. Because it's the right hand, right?
Yes. Well,
Well,
Meekins
I don't know.
moved the blue badger in front of it. And... Could it be Meekins? Could it be something about where he placed it? Like, could he have cut
I mean,
himself?
he...
Oh, because he did. He said
also-
he took it away.
Also, is the handprint on the blue badger? Are we just assuming that's Gumshoe?
We are for now, but
It
yeah.
might not be, because he never mentioned. He just said like, "Oh yeah, I put it together myself with paint." He never said like. He said it was a bit
Yeah.
scruffy, but he never said the handprint was.
This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction.
The only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright.
You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing.
Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on here?
Yes. Something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
The blue badger?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
All this evidence here. There's gotta be something I can use.
Which either can prove the missing...
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's the blue badger. Here's where it's finally used.
I'm the blue badger, it's me! They call him to the witness stand.
Yeah.
Blue badger. State your name and occupation. I'm the blue badger! What about that piece of plywood?
The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright, or you'll go poof.
Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here.
So?
So what happens when we put him in? This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime.
It's huge.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Well, what?
that's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing there, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker.
What?
So that means... just what exactly does that mean?
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker.
Don't look at me, I didn't put it there.
Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically.
Emma.
On that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the blue badge to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker.
So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the blue badge was brought in.
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
I mean, it may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice.
But how?
One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Oh, wait a minute. It's possible there's already blood on the floor and we just can't see it. Anyway, Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time, someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. He died at 4:20.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
Surely Edgeworth
So
would have seen
777
blood
killed
when
him.
he went in there, though.
Yeah, Meekins would be like, there's blood everywhere!
No.
Yeah.
Edgeworth went in. Why did Edgeworth not see it? Well, why did he not see blood? Like, surely he must have seen something. I don't know. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker.
Assuming this murder purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. Oh, 7777, yeah.
When did the first incident occur?
To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jig Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room.
That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this.
Very well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented.
Proof it shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present this evidence? What shows when the first crime took place?
There it is.
Yeah.
If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it, and in order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
An ID card? Oh, the ID card record.
Officer Meekins brought the blue badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50 PM. Yeah, it's after Edgeworth came in, so Edgeworth should have seen it. If he was, or he wasn't paying that much attention, I don't know. I bet you anything he went in with
It depends where his
Gant.
locker is.
Or I bet you anything he went in with Gant, and Gant just like distracted him or something.
You know what, Gant was probably like, use your card, Worthy, or something like that,
Yeah.
and help me get in here, Worthy, and I'll do you a big favor.
Yeah.
Do you a big favor, Worthy, and then he was like, don't look over there, just go to the locker over here. And then, like,
Yeah. I don't know.
If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 PM. Ah. Oh! Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done?
I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Nope, I ain't getting it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
From the luminol test, the blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. Yeah.
Means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer.
It would have just been 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
But would 20 minutes be enough?
That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's look at this chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. 777777777777777.
Talk about a number.
Wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7777777.
Right.
I'm just gonna say 7 from now on.
Yeah, Mr. Sevens. So Mr. Sevens with Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll let you in the evidence room. Bing. Come, follow me. Da-da-da-da. Stab. You know. So that's happened. So that's how he's got in without his number registering.
And
well, officially.
Either Edgeworth went in there of his own accord, or he went in with someone like Gant, because there needed to be a distraction so the body could be carried to his car. Because I presume Edgeworth would have
help me put this huge sports bag.
Well, no, I don't mean what I mean is the body's not in the room, but it still needs to be brought downstairs somewhere. That implies maybe there's 2 people working on this, not just one. Well, by all accounts, maybe there is a second murder. I don't think there is. I think it showed the fact that it showed us 2 stabbings at the same time, and that's what's misleading, because it's.
I think that might be just the artistic flair of the cutscene and the case.
I wasn't. It's just that the game hasn't technically really done artistic flair.
Because this is the DS case.
I don't know. Yeah,
so
I don't know.
Art direction might be more different.
maybe
like,
so.
I know.
Yeah, you might be right.
I don't work for Capcom, but just imagine you're on the DS. You know, it's just like, oh, we've got this new hardware. Let's play a cool.
Yeah.
2 people against that. You know what
fair.
I mean?
That's fair.
Yeah. You couldn't do that on the game. Like, come on. Like.
Find out whose ID number is 7777777.
That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least, at present.
What?
Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Gant. Someone who's so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
Even if it's potential murder, surely you do.
Surely even if it's a really serious case, like, come on, like,
it doesn't matter how powerful you are. If say, I don't know, the president just stepped out of, their president building, stabbed someone, and then walked back inside, you're still gonna arrest them. They're not above that. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. If you kill someone, you go to jail. That's how it works. Like, surely, you would hope, right?
So even though some elite people get away with it, they still have to go through the process to at least give this illusion that they can't be, you know what I mean? They have to do the dance, even though it's like, oh, okay, here are my lawyers, here are my suits.
But that's ridiculous. Just how?
I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
Oh, okay. If an official charge filed against the executive is accepted.
An official charge?
You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. That's pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the defendant sitting over there. You your own little executive.
Lana?
Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course, we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 77777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident.
The SL9 incident?
Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? You need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor.
I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth.
2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time,
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did.
Lana!
I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, just what are you saying?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Why won't you answer him?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved.
But Lana!
Even if it involved forging evidence.
See? That's what I'm talking about. No!
Order! Order! Order!
Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. Oh man. 1 day left.
Oh, well.
Alright.
It's
Oh
all gonna
boy.
come out.
Lana's still on trial.